Hey guys, Sean Rizzo with Kraken Motorsports here. Today we're going to talk a little bit about sequentials and this crazy thing behind me. Let's get into it. Hey guys, so there's been a lot of talk going around on the internet about Subarus not being fast and us not building any fast Subarus. So we thought we'd do a couple of videos about some really fast Subarus that we worked on. And the crazy thing behind me, this is about a 900 horsepower car. It's a track car. He does use it for some of these road events where you drive from track to track and you know, streetcar type events. So it is technically a street car in the sense that it's classed as a street car. We actually didn't build the motor in this car. It's not one of our motors. We're going to remedy that probably here pretty shortly. The customer's pretty certain that this motor is kind of on its last legs, and he's already talking to us about doing a fully built P2P motor in this thing, P2P Kraken motor in this thing. So look forward to that. But for now, it is making a good amount of power. And when you have a Subaru that's making the kind of power that this car makes, the stock drivetrain is just not going to cut it. The 6-speed is good. The factory 6-speed is a great transmission, and it can hold a lot of power. But it does have a lot of weaknesses. There's a lot of things you can do to shore up that transmission. You can go to bigger axles, built diff, you can do a PPG box, you can do a PPG synchro mesh, you can do a PPG straight cut, you could go to a full dog box, or when you're really serious about making power and being fast, you can go to the big daddy, a fully sequential transmission, which is what we've spent the last week or so putting into this guy. I want to send a huge shout out to Zach over at ZF Design for all of his help and encouragement and data and technical savvy and everything that he's provided to us over the past week to make this thing work the way that it's supposed to. The Xshift transmission is incredible. They use a stock case. It fits in the car relatively easily. We didn't have to modify anything that wasn't supposed to be modified yet. You have to make a mount for the shifter and modify the linkage, that sort of stuff. But it went in really easy. The quality of the parts is unreal. This thing shifts butter smooth. The sequential transmission is incredibly strong. By getting rid of the synchros and all the shift forks, you basically strengthen the transmission in the sense that there's only motion in one direction when you're shifting this thing. So when you move the lever, it turns a drum, which produces rotational motion from your forward and back motion on the lever. That rotational motion is what shifts the transmission inside. It can be shifted without a clutch once you have the strain gauge installed, and it can be shifted incredibly fast. We have another Xshift transmission that's going in our land speed car. That one's going to be air operated, and it's going to have paddle shifters, which will be a whole nother level above even this car once we get to installing that one. So yeah, sequential transmissions. I've never done one in a Subaru, so here we are. We're going to go for a drive. Give it a try.
So the switch just for reverse?
The switch is actually to put it in neutral.
Oh, okay.
So if you want to go into reverse, Right now we don't have the strain gauge hooked up, so we're going to have to use the clutch the whole time we're driving the car. This goes to the strain gauge, which goes to the HALTECH to tell the HALTECH when you're going to shift. And then the ECM will retard timing and all kinds of things to make it safe to shift the car at speed. Once this is all hooked up, you'll be able to shift this thing as a no-lift shift. So basically just bang it into the next gear, no clutch, no coming off the gas, nothing like that. When you're sitting still, however, you do have to use the clutch to get it moving. And we're going to use the clutch to change gears as well, simply because, like I said, we don't have that hooked up. So clutch in, pull the shifter back towards you, and then the car is in reverse. That's like the gear carrier. Yeah. So they use their own gear carrier, but the rest of the case is factory. So this transmission, as far as physically going into the car, it doesn't go in the car any different than a factory transmission does. The biggest differences, the biggest changes or challenges to installing a sequential in one of these cars is this guy. The shifter is completely different than the stock shifter. Right. So it comes with a mount, a base, but you have to fabricate a way to attach that base to the car. Okay. You also have to fabricate a way to seal that up, because normally it's just open to the outside. So we were able to reuse the factory boots and kind of trim them and cut them and make them work for the Xshift base for the shift. And then the shift linkage you have to modify and cut to the right length for wherever you position the shifter. You're going to change the length of the shift linkage. So, and then of course all of the wiring.
Set up pretty smooth. You can just barely tap it and you're able to shift around. It's not hard at all.
No, it moves like butter.
Awesome. So how'd you say reverse works? Is it like a motorcycle in the sense that you have to go a different direction?
You have to go through neutral.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Probably 19-ish, 20-ish, something like that. Wow. It's not making a ton of boost.
And so with these, do you have to work your way down to neutral? Like if you're in 6, you couldn't just pop it all the way down into neutral with one?
But it does go in a circle, so that's actually not true. If you're in 6th gear,
oh, you just go,
and you pull this and shift again, it will go to neutral. So it's 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, neutral, and then it goes back to 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, neutral.
Okay. Nice.
And you can literally just go in a circle all day. So if you're in 6th and you're not downshifting, then yes, you could pull this lever and go into neutral from 6th. If you're in 4th, you either have to go through 6 or back through first to get to neutral.
I see. Same gear ratios as factory, or do they change that up at all too?
No, you can change the gear ratios to
pretty much whatever you want.
I wouldn't say whatever you want. That's going to give people the wrong impression, but
right.
There are options. This one is pretty close to factory, simply because this guy wants to use this car for a lot of street class events, like a lot of the drag events and stuff where you have to drive the car from one track to the next,
cool.
And that sort of thing. He wanted something that could be driven on the highway if it needed to be.
Right.
So the ratios in this one are pretty close to factory. I think first and second are just a hair lower. Third is right about the same, and then first, second, and third are a little lower. Fourth is right about the same, and then fifth and sixth are just a touch higher than factory gear ratio. All right, guys. So that's just a little bit about sequential transmissions and this particular car, which is going to be an absolute beast once this thing is done and tuned. Looking forward to putting one of our big motors in this car. New turbo setup. He wants to do a hood exit, hood dump, all kinds of craziness. This thing's going to be with us for a while, and it's going to get nuts. If you have any questions, if you have a big power car, you want to do a transmission, you're interested in a sequential, please reach out to us. Let us know. We have the best transmission guy in the world backing us up. And as always, huge thanks to Trey, man behind the camera. And we'll see you guys next time. Peace.